Welcome to Vegan Business Talk with Katrina Fox, author of Vegan Ventures, Start and Grow an Ethical Business. Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Vegan Business Talk. I'm Katrina Fox, journalist, media trainer and editor of veganbusinessmedia.com, the multimedia blog providing success tips for vegan business owners and entrepreneurs. In this episode, I interview UK publicist Karin Ridgers, owner of Mad Promotions, who also runs online TV station VeggieVision TV. This is another audio interview I did for my book, Vegan Ventures, Start and Grow an Ethical Business. Now, I love Karin because she's so passionate about PR. And in fact, I hired her to do some PR for me when I launched Vegan Ventures at London VegFest UK in October last year. And she got me on LBC Radio, the UK's largest talkback radio network. So she really knows her stuff. And what I've found about Karin is she's one of those rare publicists who really gets what journalists need and gives it to them. And as a journalist myself, I really appreciate PRs like Karin who make my job a lot easier. In this interview, Karin talks about how PR is still the best and fastest way to get recognition for your vegan business, why putting vegan front and centre when approaching journalists isn't always the best move, what to look for in a PR professional, what PR professionals expect of you, and much more. Here's the interview with Karin Ridgers of Mad Promotions and VeggieVision TV.
Yeah, so if we kick off with the first one then, so a lot of the vegan business owners I've spoken to, particularly the smaller ones, they've said that a lot of their stuff, because it's vegan and a lot of times it's also organic and sustainable, it's more expensive because they're not able to buy in massive volume like, big companies. And so their profit margins can be a bit tighter. So I'm just curious about how can businesses use PR to deal with the challenge to stay competitive and attract clients?
Yeah, no, great. They're all great questions. I would say that for me and for a lot of the people I work with, we're kind of like educators. We're on a path that might be slightly different, and it is making people aware of maybe why the costs are more, the ethical reasoning behind them, or the fact that you are working with small people or fair trade or whatever. And it is a bit of education. We are leaders in our field and we have to communicate the reasoning why things may cost a little bit more money, and not be ashamed of it. I am so anti-McDonald's, it is unbelievable. I think it's vile. But as a teenager, I went there and I didn't realise how absolutely vile it was. But I have seen that they are selling, burgers for £1. Well, I paid that 20 years ago. There's got to be a cost somewhere, and it could be a cost to the planet, the cost to the workers, the cost to the animals, the cost to the environment that they're placed in. There is a cost. And, things do cost. If you want to go and buy the cheapest, nastiest, full up with chemicals, slave labour, absolute rubbish that is killing the earth, then, that's when you're going to get cheap. But if you want to, whether it's clothing or food, if you want to pay a respectful price, that's one that, is still fairly affordable, then there is going to be a cost. And I do think that people don't always want the cheapest thing.
Yeah.
I liken it to when I had my son and I looked at baby monitors. Not that I even really used the baby monitor, but I did not go in there and say, I need the cheapest one. I wanted the very best that was going to put my mind at rest, that didn't go against my beliefs. And that's the same with the food that I eat. And I wouldn't say that I'm the most affluent person. And at times, our finances have been very difficult because of personal reasons. But I don't want to give in to my principles. And if eating a little bit, organic is going to cost a few pennies more, or fair trade is a few pennies more, then I would rather have 1 or 2 good items rather than a whole bunch of chemical-laden cheap stuff. Anyway, I'm really rabbiting on. Sorry. I better not talk this much. We will be here all day.
But I love what you said about, making customers aware of that. I think that's a really important point.
Yeah.
So I love
definitely, yeah. We're educators. We've got to think that if we educate the media through our PR, then we are educating the reader, the listener, the viewer. And it is about education and communication. And if we can make sure that we actually, and use it as a PR thing, we are not the cheapest. This is why. We are ethical. We know where our food chain is. I mean, what about in England? I was called into Sky News to represent vegetarians in the UK last year. People were eating horse.
Oh,
it broke the heart of everybody in the UK. It's the cheapest food, but people, they don't know the food chain. Whereas if you eat a vegan product, they are going to know every step of the way where every single ingredient is.
Got it.
And
Excellent.
You can't. So use it to your advantage. We are not the cheapest because we care. We're making a difference. We're fair trade. We're organic. We're supporting such and such. We give this to charity. Sing the praises.
Perfect. Love it. Thank you, Karin. That's a brilliant answer. I love that.
Oh, sorry. I will try and keep it smaller.
In regards to, and you would understand this as well, I guess, as a business person yourself, that overwhelm, when you're running your own business, it's not like just going in and doing your 9 to 5 and you're done. There's so much to juggle, and now there's social media thrown into the mix as well, that sometimes business owners can feel a bit overwhelmed. I'm curious, it's not strictly a PR question, but I'm just curious from your point of view, running your own PR business. How do you deal with that overwhelm, and what advice would you give to other business owners on how to cope with that?
Honestly, nobody ever says this when you want to set up your own business. You live, you breathe, you cannot escape. It can be completely overwhelming. The best thing is to get the best team around you, but as small business owners, we don't often have the finances to do so. But look into different options, look into other small businesses, look into other individuals that can take a bit of the pressure off. I have a bookkeeper, I have an accountant, I don't pay them full time, and yes, it does cost me money, but they are freeing up some of my time and doing a job a lot more quickly than what I could do. If I wanted to do my own accounts, it would take me such a long time. They can do it in a fraction of the time, and then I can focus on what earns my money or focus on my business. So I don't have all the answers. I'm as overwhelmed most of the time as everybody else is, and really nobody ever said to me when I said I'm going to set up my business that there's no escape. If you don't work as a small business owner, it is very likely you are not getting paid unless you're selling products online or something. But if you don't work, so if you want to go and have a holiday, that's great. That holiday is going to actually cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Nobody ever said this to me. And, I remember as well, I used to think when I worked up in London, I haven't been sick for 6 months. I think I'll take 3 days off and, just have a bit of a spring clean, have a bit of me time, because I was never ill. I'm a vegan. But now there is no escaping. I can't really take that time off. And I remember a while back, I picked up a bit of a bug that my son had, and I was very sick. But by lunchtime, I felt a bit better. I was back at my desk at 1 o'clock. Now, if I was working for somebody, I would have had 2 or 3 days off. But I'm running my own business, so I had 4 hours off. So there are things that will add to your overwhelm. It's really, I would say, as a small business owner, find the right people that are supportive on your wavelength, that can work with you maybe on an ad hoc basis until you build up to take some of the pressure off. Do not think you can do it all, because you can't, and you will make yourself ill. You really need to have some team around you. And depending on what you do, you may even find some volunteers. You know, I do believe in paying people their worth. So, you know, that's how I sort of work it. But if I'm at a show or an exhibition, frequently I'll have some lovely people that just want to volunteer. They're happy to give up a day to have a great laugh and to maybe promote VeggieVision. And that's really super. So I think it's all about building up, taking a deep breath, knowing that, you know, it's going to be very difficult to switch off. However, you're in control of your life, your destiny. You don't need to ask anyone if you have a day off. You don't need to ask permission if you've got kids to go and pick up your kids or go and see your kid in the school production. You just work it all in. It's so fulfilling. It is the best thing I've ever done. I've never worked so fucking hard in my life. And I'm about to celebrate 10 years, and it has flown by. So, you know, take a deep breath. And I'm just so sorry I'm going on, but it's such a big passion of mine, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning. And honestly, I think everybody should at least spend a year running their own business, because you appreciate people, support, and money much, much more than when you're just doing your job. You walk out at 5 o'clock, you get paid at the end of the month. It's all very lovely. You know, I was in banking for 17 years, and I learned more about money in the first year of running my own business than I ever did in banking.
Brilliant. I love that. What a great quote. I love that. So on the time thing, Karin, approximately how many hours a week do you recommend that business owners spend working on their business rather than in it? So, you know, taking that big picture stuff, maybe brainstorming new ideas for publicity and marketing, for example.
I think it does depend. And I learned a good tip from somebody fairly recently, and that was to actually start your day with your publicity or your social media or your sending out of your email. Start the day doing that, whether you want to get into the office slightly earlier. But it's one of those things that is important, but at times perhaps not urgent. And it's one of those things that it is important, but because it's not particularly urgent, we think, oh, I'll do that later. I'll do that tomorrow. But then something else comes up. And such a good tip is to just start your day. That has really worked for me. But again, I'm still a work in practice. I'm not, you know, a master at this. And I think it just depends as well on what stage you are at your business. I mean, when you're first starting, you've really got to put everything out there. Years ago, when I was doing some acting, everybody wanted to learn their lines. They all wanted to be the best actor. But for me, it was the bums on seats, because it doesn't matter how good the performance is. It doesn't matter how good the product is. It doesn't matter how good the business is if nobody knows about it. And that's actually what set me on the path of PR, because I was getting people on the front pages of newspapers and I didn't even know it was called PR. You know? So I think, if you're starting out, you've really got to spend as much time as you possibly can to build up awareness. And then when you're very, very busy, don't let it completely fall by the wayside. You know, because all of a sudden you'll find that actually, you know, your current projects have run out, and hey, where's the next lot of work coming in from? Or, you know, I've had these big orders, and then hey, where's the next lot of big orders? So keep it up, even if it is getting into your office an hour earlier and spending 2 hours in the morning before you start your actual work. I think that's a really good way to fit in your social media, your newsletters, and some promotion. Or again, you know, do find the right people. I've specialised in working with small businesses, and I provide them opportunities that they never ever would have. And, I mean, one lady I've just worked with, she's on the front page of a lovely local business magazine. She's got talking to a celebrity, face to face, you know. We've got, you know, editors reviewing her product. She's a gorgeous lady. I'm thrilled to be working with her. And this is because she put trust in me. She came up with a little bit of budget. We're not talking about budget that's going to, you know, break the bank. And she trusted me with that. I've run off. I've done what I can do. And she's getting results. But while I'm doing that for her, she's then focused. She's got more time to focus on her business.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
To find the right team.
Perfect. In terms of, like, if we look at like the vegan business arena nowadays, there's actually now a lot more options for people to buy, you know, vegan products, vegan services. How can vegan business owners use PR to stand out within that vegan business arena, as well as, you know, stand out amongst the greater business arena?
It's a tricky one. I mean, I think, you know, within the business world, then absolutely tell everybody you're vegan. I am so vegan, it's unbelievable. It's, you know, I live and breathe vegan. I think, you know, some people must look at me and I've got it tattooed on my forehead or something. It's my big passion. However, I know as a PR person and a writer myself that, again, we go back to education. You know, some people don't understand vegan. They don't really know what it's all about. You know, it's, again, as I say, it's education. And I think at times I have said to the healthy media, this is a healthy product. I have said to the women's magazines, this is suitable for women of all ages. Or I said to the vegetarian media, this is vegetarian. I said to the organic media, it's organic. So depending on what it is, things have to be relevant to the media. For me, running VeggieVision, I get told all the time about this celebrity and that celebrity. Well, unless they're vegetarian or vegan, it's not really relevant.
Yeah.
So yeah. I would say to people, really make it relevant. If you have a vegan product, why don't you tell your area, the media in your area where you live, about it? You can say that it's vegan, but the relevance to them is that you're local. If you're a woman in business and you go to business media, tell them that you're a woman in business. That's more relevant to them than being a vegan product. If you go to the vegan media, tell them it's vegan and it's lovely and why you're vegan. So I think don't hide from it, but there's certain things that may be more key to playing the media game that is going to benefit your business. And they're the ones that I would say are more vital. If your product is organic and you go to magazines that love organic stuff, really highlight that and say it's vegan. But if you go in and say, I'm vegan, they're going to sort of think, well, so what? You know, our biggest advertiser is a meat company. It just happens to be organic. Do you see what I mean? That's how I would say. I would say absolutely sing the praises and at the same time focus on what is more relevant to the actual media that you are reaching to really get them hooked in.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant advice, which I can definitely relate to being a journalist. That's absolutely brilliant advice. So for businesses to succeed, Karin, they generally need some form of expert help, like you mentioned, you know, to ensure that the business can grow and to free up their time. At what stage should a new vegan business hire a PR professional or seek some kind of professional PR help?
Oh, absolutely, at any time. Don't wait. I mean, you know, I've worked with people that have been absolutely brand new. And again, through VeggieVision, I have PR companies coming to me and saying, this is just about to launch. Will you tell your viewers? You know, so at any stage you can do it. And they will work with you as well to bring out the story, to bring out the benefits. So it could be that you are about to celebrate your first anniversary, your 5th anniversary, your 25th anniversary, you know, all different things. So, yeah, really, at absolutely any stage. As soon as maybe you've got some budget or you want to step it up or, you know, you want to get people knowing about your products. At the end of the day, I say to people, it's not rocket science. You know, people can do it themselves, but the journalists that I speak to prefer to speak to a PR person. You know, if there is something, if they don't really like the product, it's easier to tell the PR person than to tell the person that's made the product.
Right.
You know, because journalists, like, as you know, we are real people at the end of the day, and a lot of the media I speak to don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I've never really had that. It's just what people have said to me. So I think journalists know that PR people, you know, it's a love-hate relationship, isn't it? I mean, you know, we all know how it all works and what to say and what to make it work. So a lot of media prefer to speak to PR people. I think it's absolutely fine for people to make it, you know, work on it themselves, because it's not rocket science. And again, at any stage in the business, whenever you feel that actually, you know, I do want to work with somebody, and you know, I worked with people years ago, and they might come back to me for one project a year, or some people I might not have even spoken to for a couple of years. They've still got my details on their website as their PR person.
Yeah.
So it makes them look more prestigious. It is playing a silly old game, but if you have got a PR person or a PR company, it adds to your brand. It adds to, you know, who you are. You're not just, you know, you're taking your business seriously. Got
it. That's brilliant. Now, for many vegan startups, though, they may say, well, look, they can't afford to pay for PR help. What's your response to that?
Well, can you afford not to? You know, I know, it's silly. I mean, I don't sell my work at all. I don't promote my PR business. I don't have a Facebook page for my PR. I don't have I don't have anything for my PR other than recommendation. So I'm not here to sort of sell. I've always got a waiting list of clients because it's all word of mouth, and I'm very, very grateful for all of the work I've had. I feel very blessed because people are parting with their hard-earned money. So I'm very, very grateful. But I think, how can I say it really?
Is it a case that they should prioritise that? So rather than think of it as something as a luxury, that to try and get
I mean, it is a necessity. You can do it. People have run good businesses, and it's, you know, it's quite nice. You've got some stuff on your website. You've got some stuff on your social media. But I feel at the end of the day, nothing beats when you're putting on your Facebook page, look at what this magazine said about me.
Yeah.
So you open up the magazine and this is what this editor has said about my product or my service or my book or whatever it is. It's word of mouth, but it's a journalist saying it about you. Nothing really can beat that. Or, you know, I mean, I don't know if every PR does this, but I connect a lot of businesses to celebrities. And, you know, you don't know what the celebrity is necessarily going to say. But a celebrity, I think, you know, if you're speaking to a celebrity or their agent, they would expect to be dealing with a PR person and not necessarily the company or the company owner directly. Nothing beats that. If you get somebody, especially with us vegans, you find a vegetarian or a vegan celebrity, and then that celebrity says, you know, they want to support, they want to help. We all know that we're doing this for love and to make the world a better place. Yes, it has to make money because it's a business, and if we don't make money, we can't grow and we can't spread the vegan word. If you actually get a vegan celebrity to say, oh, I love this product, you know, the difference it makes, it raises your profile. It raises awareness. You can promote the promotion. It's lovely. I don't think really anything beats that, to really raise a profile and to be seen as the person, as that go-to person.
Perfect. Now, Karin, you know, the internet and social media, it's kind of a wash a bit at the moment with so many people, you know, claiming to be PR or, you know, marketing experts. And I think many of us have been burned by, you know, by investing our time and money with someone who's ultimately disappointed. So what would you say, what are the key things that vegan business owners, other than calling you, of course, but what are the key things? What are the key things vegan business owners should look for and take into account when hiring a PR professional?
go, well, you know what, it's really heartbreaking because I think in the past month I've had 3 people come to me that have been really let down, and I am shocked with what I've heard. And I don't disrespect anybody. I think we're all trying to do the best we can. But when I have people coming to me in tears and I'm getting them out of a mess, or I'm listening to them and giving them some advice because they've been let down by some quite big companies, it is really shocking. I think you've got to do your research, talk to other people. How have they found working with that person? Is that person on the same wavelength? Do they really care about you? I had one company come to me and said, I employed a PR company. They didn't even know what vegan was. And I'm like, why the hell have you spoken to this company? They don't even know what vegan is. Your whole brand is vegan. Why would you work with them? And it's just absolutely crazy. They don't care. They are paid to promote anyone and everyone. They really don't care. And the thing that really annoys me, because I don't employ people, I have freelancers that I work with as and when I need them. I speak to companies that have interns. They are paying the intern nothing. The one lady said, I'm being paid £10 an hour. I am being charged out at £120 an hour plus VAT. I don't know what I'm doing, Karin. Will you please help me? Can I work with you?
Wow.
And I'm like, for God's sake, I charge nowhere near that. I offer so much to the people I work with because I bloody care about them. You know, if I won the lottery, I'd probably be doing this and just to make a difference and not to bloody charge anyone. And I'm really getting wound up now. Oh, my God. But be careful because you could be working with a teenager that's on work experience, paying a lot of money. You'll meet the account manager who's all lovely and experienced, and you'll have a glass of wine and it all sounds fantastic, but they're not going to be the ones doing your promotion.
Right, that's a really
and it really does wind me up because I think the world is big enough for everybody. I think there is enough work for everybody. I don't see PR people as competition. Some of my best contacts are PR people. We bounce ideas off of each other. It's fantastic. But when I hear people coming to me in tears, because they have been let down. One lady went to a big organisation and for her launch, no journalists were coming. They had to cancel the whole thing.
It's a difficult one because I suppose there's sort of, do you feel that it's quite difficult to guarantee results because you've kind of, you are relying on the media. So do you think sometimes that people, I guess, well, my next question was, on the flip side, that business owners also need to be prepared to implement any strategies that, a good PR professional such as yourself identified, making sure they do rock up to the interviews or do whatever. So I guess I'm curious, what do you look for in a vegan business owner before deciding whether to take them on as a client and whether or not they have unrealistic expectations? What's your experience?
Well, that is the thing, that, the PR person has to manage the expectations. And what I say to people is there is no guarantee with PR. I don't know what the editor's going to say or what the radio producer's going to say or what the celebrity's going to say. I have invested thousands of pounds in the very best PR technology because I want the best for who I work with. So, I promote authors, I promote editors, I promote writers, and I get them more work in the media. And small business owners, I raise their profile in the media because I can actually reach all of the media in the world, and I'm overwhelmed when I say this, but I have tools that small business owners, you haven't got the time to invest in, you haven't got the time to find out about them. Why would you pay all of this money? Because you're not going to utilise it on such a regular basis. If you're going to go to just a handful of magazines. I mean, I promoted someone to Australian media. The Australian media are gorgeous. They're lovely. They're so supportive. I was inundated with replies. It was a pleasure. You do not get that in the UK media. They are a different breed. Oh my God, they are a completely different breed. Yeah, just an absolute shocker. There are no guarantees with PR, and I think if anyone guarantees, then there's something, because you don't know. We just had quite a top TV presenter die of cancer over here. Well, you send a press release out at that time, it can't get through with the news that everybody else is talking about. We don't know when someone's going to die, or a royal family member has a baby, and you don't know. You're competing against your competitors, you're competing against other news, you're competing against celebrities. Excuse me. You don't know who is going to reply. I've had editors come back to me after a year after sending the press release out and saying, this works for me now. I'd like to do a feature on you, on your client. So you don't know when. It's a ripple effect. But all I would say is get to connect with as many good media as you can and try to build up good relationships with them. Keep getting your message out there, because sooner or later you will be seen as the go-to expert person and the media will come to you. But that does take time and resources. And if you can't do it, you're going to take your business seriously, find someone that can do it for you.
For sure. So what do you look for in a bit like, because you say you've got a waiting list, Karin, what do you look for in a vegan business owner in this instance? What makes that decision for you to say, yeah, I'll take them on? They're going to be, a decent client. They're going to do what
sometimes you don't know until you're working with them. I've turned people away because their products are not vegan. If they've come to me with products, in particular to promote, and they're not vegan. Now, I can't work with them because I cannot promote a product that's not vegan. However, I've worked with an estate agent, with an accountant, and done their promotion with a newspaper. So they're not vegan, but that doesn't come into the equation, if you see what I mean. I would love to be just completely vegan companies, but, I'm a business. These people are nice, they're great, they're making the world a better place in their own way and helping others. I'm not in a position to turn them down, unless obviously, as I've said, that people have come to me and said, I've got this new whatever chocolate bar and it's full of dairy and it's full of honey and we've got like thousands of pounds, will you work with us? Well, actually, no. I had someone come to me, beautiful designer bags. We've got thousands of pounds to invest with you, Karin. Will you promote our bags? Are they leather? Yes. Sorry. Good luck.
No.
Not touching you at all. There's not even a split second where I debate the idea. However, I'm not in such a big business position that I can, I wouldn't be able to do it whatsoever, but, that's it really. But what am I looking for in a business owner? Someone that's passionate, someone that's likeable, someone that's fun, someone that's going to take PR seriously, someone that will reply to my emails and understand that if I ask a question, I need the answer urgently because there's a reason why probably a magazine editor is asking me to ask it. I need someone with great images. Images are vital. I've had people get coverage because of how wonderful their images are. Really great images. But people just that take it seriously and want to have fun, but understand as well that there really is no guarantee. However, in saying that, everybody I've worked with in the past 10 years has gained editorial, and it's been worth a lot more than their PR investment. They've been on radio. I've got people writing for magazines. I've got people on TV, all sorts of stuff. I've got to say, though, I'm an honest bloody person. There is no guarantee. I don't know what that editor's going to say. But so far, touch wood, I think because of, the person that the universe gets me connected with, I love them and a lot of the media love them.
Brilliant. What challenges do you find, Karin, as a PR professional, of getting vegan issues and vegan businesses into the media? Like I interviewed Kezia Jorian, who runs Evolutus PR, the vegan PR company in the US, and she was saying that the media, particularly over there, they like the uplifting, happy animal stories, but less so the stuff that's, you know, highlighting animal exploitation and stuff. I mean, she works with not-profits as well. So I'm just curious, like, whether you find something similar or what, you know, if there are any particular challenges you find, you know, getting coverage for vegan issues and vegan businesses.
So what do you mean? Let me just see if I'm. So do you mean because they are vegan?
Yeah.
So let me just make sure I understand. So because they're vegan businesses, they might not get coverage.
Yeah, so whether there's any particular challenges around getting, you know, kind of vegan issues and vegan businesses into the media. Because of their, you know, like you say, got big advertisers who are, you know, like meat or pharmaceuticals, whatever.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we are battling against these guys that have got all the money, and don't get me started with the, you know, oh my God, you know, it can influence it. But I mean, a good magazine has got to have a fair balance. You know, you are not going to buy a magazine that is advert after advert after advert. There's got to be some editorial. I know a lot of magazines that, especially free magazines, you know, they are going to support their advertisers more than just somebody saying, hey, can I have some free publicity? You know, it's very, very difficult to win that free publicity. You've got to beat off so much. I was based at a local newspaper. They can get 100 press releases every single day. Are they going to reply to everyone? Are they going to reply to 5? You know, have they got the time? Are they on a deadline? And it's not just for a vegan business. You know, I've worked with products that they are not vegan, but they are not vegan, if you know what I mean.
I get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
You know, it might be made of plastic, you know, but it's a tool to help, you know, beauty or whatever, something like that. And they still have the same issues as a vegan business. Somebody did say to me, look, I don't think I'm going to get publicity because it's vegan. And again, it's all about education, and it's all about raising that person's profile as the go-to person in their field. It's getting a PR person to work with them because then they look more prestigious, and knowing that everybody, vegan, meat product, we all have the same issues because you are fighting really for that really small amount of space, which you don't want to pay for. You want it as editorial. So everybody has those has the same issue. I'm just trying to think if there's anything to add. Does that cover it, do you think? I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm getting to the end now because I'm just asking you some really key questions. You've been so generous with your insight. Can you say something, Karin, about how you think social media and media work together? I don't want to ask, I think my question was originally, you know, why is one, or what are the advantages of media over social media? But I think maybe a better question is how the two can work in tandem.
Right, so how your publicity can work with social media?
Yeah, so how, you know, actual traditional media, including online media, work in tandem with social media, like, or what are the advantages of one over the other, or how do you see that they may work together? So maybe having a big social media presence could make a journalist more likely to cover a business in the media or anything like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, I think it does all add up now, and people do look at how many Twitter followers you've got, how many page likes you've got, and it does all add up. And again, you know, when, you know, I'm inviting journalists to an event or something and I get people coming back, I will look at, you know, if that is a blogger, I will look at how big their following is. So it definitely is key. I think, you know, at the end of the day, to me, nothing beats the traditional media. So, if you are on radio, if you get some radio interviews, then, that to me is better than getting 20 likes on a picture that you put on Facebook. You on radio is raising your profile. You're serious. Getting 20 likes or 100 likes, that's great. It all adds to it. But I just don't think anything beats radio or getting in a magazine. But then what I say to people is, there's your website, there's your product or your services. You go on radio, then on your website you say, as heard on such and such, I'm a regular on this radio station, hear me on this station, see me in this magazine, I now write for this magazine. It might even be just a few things. Now, if people find you using social media, they might not have heard you on radio. They might not have seen your article in the magazine. They might have found you on Facebook. Now, if they go to your website and then they see all of this about you, they are more likely, I feel, to buy, to be interested in your products, because you're not just, a little website that's set up. Actually, you're taking this seriously because you are on radio. You are in this magazine. You are in this newspaper. So I think that people might find you just on Facebook, but if you've got the PR behind you, backing you up, no matter how people find you, that really does add weight to your brand and your business. I can't see anything that will beat it, really.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you.
So that was Karin Ridgers of Mad Promotions and VeggieVision TV. You can find out more about Karin at mad-promotions.com and veggievision.tv. And you can find those links on the show notes page at veganbusinessmedia.com/podcasts. Now for our vegan business news roundup. A vegan honey made from organic apples got not one but 3 investors on Shark Tank interested in their product last week. Bee-Free Honey is the brainchild of Katie Sanchez, who was attempting to make apple jelly many years ago, and it came out in a different consistency, which was similar to honey. So this product is actually a happy accident. Kate and her co-owner Melissa Elms went on season 7 of the popular US TV show, in which business owners pitch ideas to the sharks to get a deal. Now, while some sharks didn't get it, Barbara Corcoran loved the cause behind the product, which is saving bees, and wanted in. She was joined by Mark Cuban and guest shark Chris Sacca. Bee-Free Honey received $210,000 for 30% equity in their business, which was split evenly among all 3 investors. I'm so thrilled to see another vegan product get investors on this show. We really are going mainstream. And I hope the sales become international as well, because I'm very keen to try the product. V-Spot is a new vegan eatery set to open in Trinity Groves, West Dallas, reports Culture Map Dallas. The new spot's owned by Troy Gardner, who's the owner of Samson's Hot Dogs, which already has an 85% vegan menu, but this one's going to be all vegan. Vegan comfort food at affordable prices will be on offer to attract the millennials, the generation most open to vegan food. Vegans, the world's first and largest vegan grocery store, has announced plans to open in Portland in the US, reports EcoWatch. Former Mercedes-Benz manager Jan Predak founded Vegans in 2011 in Berlin, Germany, and since then he's opened a chain of supermarkets across Europe. Now he's got his sights set on the US. Not everyone is happy about this, though. Some are worried about the impact Vegans will have on Food Fight, Portland's existing vegan grocery store. And that's an interesting conundrum, I think, that we're likely to see a lot more of as competition in the vegan marketplace continues to heat up. And finally, designer Stella McCartney has announced an all-vegan men's fashion line for her summer and spring 2017 collection, reports Veg News. I'm really happy to hear this, particularly because the line is vegan. As Veg News points out, Stella does use wool and silk in her women's collections, but she speaks out strongly against fur and leather. In fact, when I was in London late last year launching my book Vegan Ventures, I was walking along the street in Kensington and I saw in the distance the word fur, and it was all lit up with bright lights in a shop window. And first of all, I thought, oh gosh, it's a fur shop. And I thought, what shall I do? Well, I go in and, do a bit of activism. And but when I actually got closer, I saw that it was Stella's shop, and she had a message across the whole window that was all about rejecting fur. So that was a relief. And it's really good to see mainstream designers getting into vegan fashion lines, specifically for men as well. I think this is a really growing trend and a growing market. There's quite a lot happening in the vegan women's fashion space, but vegan men's fashion space is really growing, and it's fantastic to see Stella get on board with this. So that's it for this episode of Vegan Business Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, please consider giving it a review and a rating on iTunes or any other platform you're listening on. I'm Katrina Fox from veganbusinessmedia.com, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next episode. Bye for now.